Hello, welcome inside the Hera Press Box. We are about to start another Sunday evening episode. I am Clay,
I'm Alyssa.
and mildly interesting weekend, I guess. Nothing too major happened, but a bunch of little things, I guess, and we'll try to hit on those tonight and give our opinions. Last on Thursday, we shared a lot of other people's opinions, but I bet tonight we'll probably just get into ours. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I want to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a question. Um, so I guess you can either pick a sport or pick a league.
Okay.
And the question is, who are the worst referees in professional athletes?
uh, well, as of lately, definitely in an NWSL. That was made pretty clear last night. And I guess all yesterday, from what I saw, I was only able to catch the Dash game. But within that game, it was just utter chaos in my mind. I think if we're talking outside of women's sports, I think the NCAA men's side gave the NWSL a run for their money this year, and the NBA definitely gives a run for that first place spot as well. But I think NWSL right now is taking the cake.
Yeah, so Amber Brooks tweeted,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the refs in this league are an absolute joke. It's embarrassing and needs to be better if we want to call the NWSL best league in the world.
Yeah. And I was thinking about that actually earlier today because I figured it was one of the topics that you were going to bring up. And if you weren't going to bring it up, I was going to bring it up. That the league is so new that we need not to be focusing on the refs. So they need to be good. They need to have it together because all we're talking about this weekend are the refs. We're not talking about the games really. So,
Right.
and I think that's bad. I mean, it's bad in general for any sport, any team, or any game, I guess. But especially with a new league, when you're trying to build popularity, you're not going to build popularity by having refs who have no idea what they're doing or just completely inconsistent, let alone within the game of being inconsistent rather than just being inconsistent, depending on the ref.
Yeah, and it's strange with the dozens of games that I've been to NCAA women's soccer, and I don't know, no game, no referee sticks out in my mind as being
Terrible.
as poor as what we've seen just this weekend.
Right.
And as far as soccer, I guess I'm not as comfortable as to ride an official like I am at basketball.
Right.
And that comes from a few different reasons. One, that I never played soccer. I don't have the complete knowledge that I feel I do in basketball for me to really question their judgment calls. But so that at the same time, that also makes me understand that when even I'm questioning what kind of effort or what we're putting out there as far as referees are concerned, and that says something to me.
Right. And given as someone who's played both soccer and basketball, I definitely rode the refs probably more in basketball, but I felt like I could more in basketball than I could in soccer. I could push the limits a little bit further in basketball than in soccer. For whatever reason, I may be completely wrong, but it's super easy to get a technical in basketball, or you would think, than get a yellow card in soccer. But I talked to the refs.
It's supposedly really easy to get a red card nowadays.
Oh my goodness, it's so easy. Did you see any of what Omar Morales said after the game?
No, I did not.
Well, he had a quote. I know we don't want to talk about the other team, but since it's kind of that game that we're specifically talking about the refs, or at least I am, said, just to kind of generalize his quote, was that it wasn't a red card on Carly, and that if they would have been calling the game like that, Lindsey Horan wouldn't have even been in the game at that point to score the tying goal, which I completely agree with him there. I think Lindsey's first tackle should have been a card automatically from what I remember. Then her yellow card, I think, should have been a red card, given that I thought her first tackle should have been a yellow. And
yeah, and then so they got, and just to jump real quick about the coaches' comments of the red cards, FCKC's coach, Vlatko, I've only heard his name pronounced one, Andonovski, his quote was, "This league is the best league in the world. Some of the best players play here, but with the exception of some referees, this league has the worst referees in the world." So strong comments.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to get some sort of fine.
Yeah,
you would think,
right? Yeah, because we've just named three. We've named three. Not huge names, but I mean, two coaches and a player.
Right.
That in any other league are probably going to get some kind of fine, but it's a decision to be made right now.
Can you be fined if it's actually true though? Like,
right.
Is that kind of where we're at this point? Because Are you just accepting the fact that this year you have poor refs, and are you going to fix that next season? I mean, you have to fix that next season. If you can try and fix it this season, by all means, please do so, because it's pretty terrible. Maybe it's what a commissioner could help do. Maybe they should get one of those.
And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of articles come up, and I mean, there's one here in the Houston Chronicle, but we can go over that as more are published.
Right.
As I'm sure there will be.
Yeah, and Carly's appealing her red card too, so it's only, and I'm not even sure. Well, the way things are going, I'm not sure she's going to win it. And I don't know at the end of the day if she should win it. I mean, she did go studs up. Yep. From what I remember, they replayed it once, and it was barely even a replay from what I remember.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
It was pretty nasty.
Definition of dangerous kick, but for a red card
to be pulled in the 92nd minute.
Yeah.
When Horan has been sitting on a yellow since like the 10th minute or whatever, she got that yellow for pretty much the whole game. It was in the first half. It was brutal.
So she's appealing hers.
Mm-hmm.
Who? Why am I blanking on who? Oh, is Shea Groom appealing hers?
That I do not know. I just saw on Twitter that Carly had tweeted that she was appealing her.
Okay. Another thing that was interesting this week from the NWSL was, well, sort of NWSL. Allie Wagner covered the men's game and was on their panel as opposed to being on Lifetime's. So that was disappointing, I would say. But money talks.
Right. You can't blame her. To an extent, you can't blame her because...
I'll blame her. I 100% blame her.
Why do you say that? Just because you think she should have been on Lifetime?
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal for her to go over there and...
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
I mean...
It wasn't necessarily a huge game.
Right?
No, they're in the Gold Cup right now, so no.
Okay. Well, still, it doesn't.
I don't know. It was Panama. It wasn't like they were playing Mexico or something. You know, it would have been a little bit.
Yeah, so they're
better.
probably just trying to get a female analyst to make themselves look good, I imagine.
Right. Trying to pull the female crowd in because no one likes the men's side.
Right. Another thing that I saw was that Courage, 4 of their games are going to be broadcasted on local television. And the channels in Charlotte, one on NBC, one on Fox, and then 2 other local stations will carry 4 total games for the rest of the season.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that is cool. And that has me thinking about, well, CSN, Comcast Sports Network, carries all the Fire games. Maybe not all of them, but a majority of them. So that's very similar to what the situation is out there in North Carolina. It'd be awesome to see Red Star games on CSN. And yeah, who's to say we can't work towards that for all teams? You obviously want a national, and I'm sure you could easily still keep 1 game a week while having all the local broadcasts.
Right. You keep it on Go 90 as well, though. You just go away with that if it's going to be on local television or YouTube, whatever source.
Yeah, YouTube.
You keep it on YouTube.
Go 90.
Yeah, Go 90 is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Although we went out and ate at B-Dubs on Friday night. So there were probably 10 of us, and me and one of my buddies. Well, I had the Red Star game on, so he was watching it with me. So it sort of worked. It was pretty blurry, but I didn't have to watch any goals, so that was.
It's an exciting one.
Yeah, it was extremely exciting. Well, you already brought up that other team, so one thing that I want to mention about them is, and I screenshotted because at some point I'm going to post it and really just go off on this, what should be faux pas, that Janine Becky was wearing those stupid black cleats again. And it looks yeah, she did score. They look terrible.
They look terrible, but hey, if she's scoring goals, I don't care what they look like.
I figured it'd take a lot more than the cleats for her to score, but she pulled it off. And then extending off of that, especially since Rachel wore those cleats at 1 game, there have been, you sent me the one of the posts, one of the tweets, even though I'd already screenshotted it, and then it happened again, a couple of weeks ago, where it was something about what the guys say. So these guys
I'll find it.
Are direct messaging Rachel, I guess, right? Yeah, they'd have to be direct messaging her.
Yeah.
And one of them, he told her he was the next Balotelli, and he's only 16 years old, and if she needs a man to care for her, that
he's the one.
He's the one. And I think her response was, well, if he is the next Balotelli.
Yeah.
And now this latest one was not as what's the word I want to say? He didn't have as much
knowledge
gesture behind his message. Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah. So he messaged her and said, "Big fan. Can I get an autograph USA jersey?" She quoted it and said, "Must be a huge fan." Clearly. I mean, if he's a big fan, gotta get him that jersey. Or maybe he was smart in trying to recruit her to the USA team.
Yeah.
And she's not playing with England, so
don't look past this guy. I mean, he would be the only one that probably had a daily American jersey. So no, that's all right. And Well, after that, was it the first post? And yeah, I think it was after the first post. And I replied back to you and said,
Mhm.
yeah, I was worried about tweeting at her 2 times in a month.
Yeah.
And now we got these guys messaging her. So I don't feel as bad now.
Well, you mean I think it's time for you to start messaging her then.
No, thank you.
It sounds like that's what gets her attention. So
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it does get her attention though, right? Yeah. So that was amusing, I would say. And then to continue building on that, so this on the social media side of things,
Mhm.
what's the limit on women's professional soccer players that I should follow on Instagram that I have now created? And I don't care about the number of people that I follow. I mean, if it gets up to 2,000, it's going to be 2,000. And right now, I think I'm
We'll
not
check and
close
see.
yet.
We'll check and see what I'm at. I'm at just over 300.
Okay, so I'm
And
at
I
two.
can pretty much guarantee that the majority of those people are female athletes. So
Okay, so
to give
I'm at
you a limit, there is no limit.
good because I'm at 230 followers. I would say there's a chance 50 of them are professional female soccer players.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I would say half of them are athletes of some type. So okay, I'm happy about the no limit because I might just follow every single person in the league. That's where I'm headed at least.
Yeah, I've started doing that. Like every week, I think I follow a new person in the league. If you follow Jane Campbell,
No, I don't.
apparently, oh, okay, well, she was pretty funny on her Instagram story today. So a couple of them, it looked like they were, I don't know if it was like a team outing or if it was just a handful. They all went to Top Golf today. She's got a bunch of videos of people swinging. And Carly Lloyd is up and, of course, just has the perfect swing. And it just looks so natural compared to all the other ones. And she goes, and what a surprise that she's good. Like, right? What can't Carly Lloyd do? Bailey isn't terrible.
No,
No, I
better than
mean,
John.
could be better, but it's not terrible. So I'll give her that.
Somebody that I need to follow, and hopefully I remember to. And probably should be the headline coming out of this weekend, as it was like I said, mild weekend as opposed to those the referee stories. But McCall Zerboni's what I would say front running MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
I know that she's been playing well. I haven't gotten to see a lot of her, but I know that she's been playing well.
Yeah, I put her as a front runner for MVP. Them being in first easily now with Chicago's draw against Boston. North Carolina maybe had one game this year. Everything else has been theirs for the draw or win.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there.
Good.
I think the only other player just strictly based off of her being a forward and having a big name would be Marta. It's the only one I could throw in the running.
Even if they don't make the playoffs?
I think because of her name, she has a chance, yes.
Really?
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, who's voting for this, right? It's going to bring more attention to the league. It supposedly, let's just say that. If one of the greatest to play the game gets MVP of the league. Right?
It brings more what to the league?
Brings more notice. because it's a name that people it's a name
Notice?
that people recognize even if they don't follow NWSL, or if they only watch World Cup or Olympics. It's a name that they know. Not that ESPN or Fox Sports is ever going to say her name, but
Right. Yeah, I guess that's where I would go with my thoughts.
right.
Do you think if Zerboni wins, people look her up?
I would hope so.
Hopefully they already know, but I doubt that.
I doubt it. I would, yeah. I mean, not that it's necessarily going to be. I think the people who watch the league now will know, and those are the people that are going to know who the MVP is. Because, again, it's not going to be broadcasted on ESPN or Fox Sports. You don't even get highlights of NWSL games on those stations. So,
Right.
But
Right.
if Marta gets it, there's a chance that they could get on it, is my guess. That's my guess. Assumption.
I would guess it'd have to be an American star for
Right.
them to get any number.
Right. Which isn't happening this year.
No.
Which
Nope.
is fine. Completely fine.
Well, let me run through the scores. So it's People's Sunday at Wimbledon. Play will resume tomorrow. 8 of the top 10 seeds remain. 2 Americans are still playing. Japan scored 2 runs in the third and held on to beat Team USA by 1 for the World Cup of Softball Championship. The Americans out-hit Japan 6-3, but were unable to defeat the team Danielle O'Toole 1 hit 2 nights ago. The Charge went 1-4 this weekend and fell to 5th in the NPF standings. Chicago is again above 500, is well behind San Antonio, who's 19-3 after winning 4 times this week, although that includes only beating Beijing by a run. A very, very interesting weekend in the NWSL, which saw 2 red cards yesterday, off seconds after Mallory Weber tied the game between Portland and Houston. Then Shea Groom received a red after her and Erica Skrosky constant tussling ended in a shove from the Sky Blue defender, but it was the KC forward who received punishment. That set up Sam Kerr to complete a hat trick for the win and lead in all-time goal scoring for the league. Played to a draw, as did Orlando and Washington. The Courage kept pace to top the table, defeating Seattle 2-0. Chicago Sky, 11th in the standings, took down Minnesota in a big win, 100-76. Maya Moore was 0 for 5 from the field, and Courtney Vandersloot for the Sky took the show with 26 points and 13 assists. What school did she go to?
Who? Say that again?
Courtney Vandersloot.
Oh, that I do not know.
West Coast. Big
Stanford.
men's program. Big men's program.
UCLA.
No, North, smaller school.
Oregon.
Small school. No football.
Small. You're going to say it and I'm going to know it, but I don't know right now.
Big men's school. Final Four this year, right? Final Four 2 years ago.
You're not helping me, man.
No?
No, I can't think of anything.
Gonzaga. San Antonio fell another game behind with a loss to Phoenix. Kayla McBride pours in 22. The trade deadline is July 31st. Atlanta won twice, moving them back to 500. Lachia Clarendon scored 43 over those 2 contests. Deladon's 28 wasn't enough to hold on against the Sun. Connecticut outscored the Mystics by 12 in the fourth to win by 4. The Mercury beat New York 81-69. The Storm beat Los Angeles 81-69. And there's your recap.
Mm-hmm. Were you able to catch the softball game at all?
Yeah, I watched a little of it.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, it was. The previous games this week were
right.
Very nice to watch.
Mm-hmm. I think we had bases loaded at least twice, and we maybe got 1 run off of that. So that was great. Great piece of work.
My positive I did take out of this softball, even if they did lose, was that I've decided I'm a big fan of Jasmine Jackson, outfield.
Mm-hmm.
mainly because she's left-handed, but also because she's really good at softball and fun to watch. So I'll be paying attention to Cal this year. She's a senior there. So
Okay, yeah, that was another thing. They're a young team, so just something to build on.
yeah, they shouldn't be going away anytime soon. So
Right.
and they did talk a little bit, and I wish I would have paid more attention about the development of other countries and their softball programs. And
Yeah.
I'd imagine Japan was probably mentioned multiple times and probably at the top of that list as far as development next to the U.S. goes, which is great.
Yeah, Michelle was talking about how she goes over to different countries and works with them and coaches them to basically build up their program just because it's needed. She listed off a bunch of countries that she's gone to and try to impact them in some sort of way to build their program up, which is good. Good to see for sure.
Yeah, and especially after what we've talked about in previous episodes about softball here being the next sport, what I believe, and I think you agree, that the next sport to take off.
Right.
So it would be great to have that international play. We see this Beijing team in the pro leagues here, and it's only place to go is up, and I think we're on our way there.
Yep, I would agree with you.
So another thing that I wanted to talk about was behind me. I've changed some things up because I wanted to make it more cast friendly. Did you notice?
The poster above our soccer team, I think, is different, correct? I can't really see
so it. Literally everything you see besides this picture right there has been changed or updated or moved. Yeah, so our women's soccer team was over here.
Yeah.
Now Iowa girls basketball is here. And then the poster I made for Cody Williams, Kelly McNichol, and Genevieve Richard in the middle. And then our soccer team, 20th edition ESPN The Mag WNBA special. Above that is Indiana State girls basketball. Hanging in front of that picture is from the Frozen Four this past season for girls NCAA. And then Illini softball, Brianna Wonderly pitching there.
I don't know how I feel about 3 different Big Ten schools on one wall, but I'm going to let it pass for now.
Well, Iowa's my number 1 girls basketball team, so that's going to have to go ahead.
I mean, we don't have one, so that's acceptable.
Well, we have one, but
I mean, we have one, but we don't.
They take all of our players, so that's why I like them.
Okay.
Bree Sarah and Megan Gustafson, born and raised Wisconsin, did not receive a scholarship offer from the great Bobby Kelsey.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, we kept her around for, 4 years? 5 years?
Was it just 4? Geez, feels like 30.
Feels like 30 because we have to dig the program out of the dirt.
I did. What was I doing? Following more people on Instagram. So every year I create I call it my All-American team from NCAA girls basketball. So I had to pull that up because I wanted to make sure that I got all my players. So why did I start this conversation?
I don't know.
What were we talking about? I don't know.
We were talking about how we don't have a Big Ten, or we don't have a basketball team, even though we're part of the Big Ten.
Yeah, so I don't know how I got on this, but as I was following players, I wanted to make sure I got all my favorites, right? So I made sure I got Lexi Brown, Duke, and Mackenzie Meyer, Iowa, because she's the next Jamie Prinny. Jordan Canada, UCLA. Diamond DeShields, even though she's gone, has left early, and I did not look up, but I don't know how that's going to work. I assume she's just a free agent now.
As far as isn't she? I thought you said she was going to play overseas. Is that? Did I?
I just said she's turning pro.
Oh, Well, I'm assuming so, yeah. That she would just, I'm seeing if I can find anything. I'm assuming so, though, because, I mean, she doesn't have the NCAA holding her back.
Right. So along with those four, Carly Wagner, Minnesota, and then who else did I? Tyra Buss, Indiana, and Whitney Jennings, who now plays at Butler. She redshirted, but she will be ready to play this season. Oh, Monique Billings, UCLA. Officially excited for that season to start, as I am about soccer season, obviously, because, 40 days left until Wisconsin soccer begins. So I'm ready. And if there's a day when we don't have enough to talk about, I will soon begin my NCAA soccer predictions, going team by team, looking at rosters, setting up standings, and figuring out who I'm putting in the NCAA tournament and making my picks. So last year I went with Duke because I had a dream that I was in a store and they had a Duke women's soccer jersey. So I picked Duke to win the championship. They went to the Final Four, I do believe, and got beat.
Close enough.
That, yeah. I mean,
basing it off a dream, close enough.
Yeah, exactly. You can't ask for much more than that.
No. Nope.
Yeah, I did pretty good last year because, well, I guess in the draft, as far as the draft is, I'll brag more about this, I'm sure, at the next draft, but I did a little scoring system where I scored better than Chris Henderson as far as predicting who was going where. So I was happy about that.
Yeah.
I called. What's that?
I said he gets paid, so it doesn't really matter what he says.
Exactly. I did call Aaron Smith to the dash in the fourth, which is very impressive. I called that 3 months before the draft happened. And I did follow her on Instagram, so whenever she starts playing soccer again, if that happens.
Is she playing right now? Is that it?
No.
I mean,
I don't think so.
You think
it doesn't seem like it. I hope it wouldn't be the coolest thing for the league to not have a potential all-star defender, but
no biggie. No pressure.
Things happen, things come up, so I understand either way.
Right. I'm just seeing if I can find anything.
On DeShields?
No, there wasn't really much on DeShields. The only thing I found was that Cooper was dismissed, and that was like a close friend of hers. Basically, she went back home after graduation or after spring semester, and that was kind of when she decided that she wasn't going to come back.
Huh.
Warlick said that she didn't give her a reason. She just said that she was going.
Yeah, so that's a huge loss for that program. For the one bright spot on the 50% of the games where they don't, nobody shows up to play, she's the one that pulls them through. And
sometimes, though.
Right, I'm saying if she doesn't pull them through, nobody's going to pull them through. So
right, yeah,
they're really in a bad spot right now. I did find the assignments for those referees, so it'd be interesting to go back and look and see. I know it's a lot to ask and way too much to ask, considering we can't for the players even we can't get a decent stat system going. Right. See number of fouls called in the game, and then match that up with who the referees are, yellow cards, red cards.
Someone's got to have done that already, you would think, right?
No.
Someone like you out there?
Yeah, I might invest some time in that because I think this has every week But then again, I would have to find
Referees.
foul stats. No, I have the referees, referee names, and the games they are assigned to. So it's just a matter of, and I don't know if the game logs have foul stats. Yeah, they do.
Where is it at? On their website?
On the NWSL, I can look up and see red cards, yellow cards, fouls. And that would probably be the only three things needed.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll have some spare time to do that.
So I just Googled to see if I could find anything. I came across this article on, you're going to love this, Women's Soccer Weekly. The title, The
Good.
Mauling of Morgan. Is NWSL doing enough to protect Alex Morgan?
Maybe I am happy they're not going to be in production anymore. When was that published?
That was published like a year ago. Let's go back.
So she's the Tom Brady.
Like literally almost a year ago, July 10th of last year.
Wow, missed that one.
Yep.
I'm not following her on Instagram, by the way.
Not surprising.
Well, to wrap up, you want to give a pick for the Wimbledon as we, I guess, the championship will be the night?
Sunday?
Yeah, a week from today. Yep.
Okay. Let me just look up at matchups again. Give me a second.
Yeah, so I guess you could just give four, a final four, and I guess my Kerber and Wozniacki are still there. Venus, I had Venus there, and then
who do you have with Coco versus Wozniacki?
Caroline.
Okay.
Easily.
Okay.
I'd probably go with the French woman Caroline Garcia to get there over.
Yeah.
Over Halep and Konta. Although that bracket hasn't treated me well at all, so I'm probably incorrect with that.
Just go with the opposite.
Yep.
Not really. Who do I want to win? I really hope Wozniacki wins. Like, at the end of the day, I really hope she does. But I would be completely fine with Coco beating her tomorrow. I have a feeling Halep might just run over Azarenka. But Halep had that one tough match, didn't she? Or am I thinking of someone else?
How long ago?
No, I'm thinking of someone else.
Halep's been straight sets.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Victoria might have some difficulties there. All right, so you want me to pick final? Man. You know I don't like this stuff. I think Wozniacki takes it.
Okay, good.
Or at least I hope Wozniacki takes it.
Me too.
Speaking of some tennis, just want to give a quick update. I know you and I were already talking about Maddox Sands, dislocated knee, and then ruptured patella tendon, which was, for me, a lot better than I anticipated it being, which still doesn't mean it's not going to be a long road back for her, but she does plan on coming back. Obviously going to be out for some time, but she's already back on social media and things like that, thanking people, obviously. So hopefully good things ahead for her. Hoping surgery goes well, rehab goes well, and we'll see her back soon.
Yeah, you said 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Months.
Yeah, so it's, from what I was kind of reading, it's similar in a way to rehabbing ACL. So you do rehab for, 3 to 6 weeks, depending on, severity of injury and things like that. Then you have surgery, and then obviously you're doing rehab after that for some period of time. But it said could return to athletic events, essentially, is what it said. 4 to 6 months, not at a competing level, but at least hopefully be back on the court type of level.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Mm-hmm. Just give me your, I know we're about to wrap up. Quick thought, and I know your thought on this already, but I just want to hear you verbalize it, on Elena Delle Donne's tweet.
So there was, as far as nothing being wrong with it?
Yeah, pretty much. All right.
Yeah, the fact that, it was, he clearly said that she hoped he blew out his shoe.
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't, in her tweet, I can't quote it because can't remember exactly what she said, but my thoughts were the same, that if you understand anything about any kind of sport at all, and you have played for more than 5 minutes of your life in some athletic competition, you know that blowing out your shoe happens without injuring yourself.
It happens all the time. Well, not all the time, but it happens pretty consistently.
Right.
I do have to say, when I came across it, my first thought was, uh-oh. Because I knew that the storm was coming. Because I knew that people were going to be like, you play in the WNBA, all of this and that. How much are you making?
Yeah, the tweet that I quoted and replied to was something about, can you imagine if a male athlete wished injury upon a female athlete, Delle Donne get to say whatever she wants, something along those lines, and that was liked by a person I follow. That's the reason why I got to see that. Yeah, so I'm glad I saw that, because I'm sure that was the probably a majority opinion or thought. People putting words into her mouth just because they know who she is, and whatever, try to cut her down to size for no reason. Yeah,
of course,
frustrating. Okay, anything else you have?
No, that's it.
Okay, the only thing I have is, so on eBay there's a Carly Lloyd bobblehead in a dash, and I've been considering getting it. And I think I mentioned this to you, but the professionals all on their radio show or whatever they have the line of bobbleheads or memorabilia that they line up in front of the camera. So I'm still debating on whether or not to get that. There are bobblehead nights coming up for Red Star games, but the Sofia Huerta bobblehead does not look anything like Sofia Huerta.
Oh, of course not.
Rory Dames is close to looking like Rory Dames. And then there is a Sarah Spain bobblehead, which would be kind of cool. Yeah. But I don't think it's any of the games I'm going to go to. So I'm on the hunt for anything like that I can buy, because at some point I'm going to have too many shirts, and especially once my Texas Charge shirt comes in, I should probably be out at max for my closet. So I figure bobbleheads and stuff like that would be a lot even cooler to have. So if you see anything, let me know, and I might even send out some tweets at different sports or teams and say, hey, I'm trying to advertise for you, give me some stuff, and I'll put it on display. So
I'm trying to be your commissioner.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I'll say. I'll be this stuff. This stuff will be on my desk when I'm commish. So,
so you should give it.
One, do it.
Yep.
Right. And two, make sure this is solid.
Right.
Solid stuff. Okay, that is it. That's what I'm looking for, and that's all I have to say from this episode. We will see you Thursday evening around 10 o'clock with more to talk about. Thanks for stopping by the Hera Press Box.